And I really didn't want to give another project to staff, particularly if Councilmember Buchanan is willing to take it on. If he's willing to take it on, I'd rather give it to him.
I'm obviously going to require staff's help in gathering the information, because, let's face it, none of us sits in City Hall every day and goes over the minute details of this sort of stuff, and I can guarantee you that's true of all of you, not just me.
Right.
And so the question is whether I recreate everything for somebody. That's simply not beyond. I don't put on a green eye shade and
Well, I don't know to what
accounting.
detail it really has to be, just enough to, so that the public really has some understanding and can put some faith in why those audits weren't done. You might have more recollection in terms of having been through it, as opposed to just going back and looking at documents. I mean, I'd sure like to have you take a stab at it to see if we can do something to
Well,
close
I
up
would
the
try.
gap.
I can certainly try to help staff come up with with some of the explanations. I mean, I'm not going to know every internal detail that somebody have. I'd be glad to work with them based on the historical knowledge that I have from having, been there during the moment
Right.
when some of the revelations occurred. And I don't have any trouble admitting that. I will admit that when it occurred, I was fairly green on the council, and some of it was pretty new stuff to me, and I suspect every one of us can still be befuddled by the nature of audits, because I think we all come to the idea that somehow they reflect a scientific set of precision, when in fact they're oftentimes judgment calls about where you put one expenditure or another.
Well, I don't think that's the issue, though, here, really.
Well, no, it is, because the question
I think it's the issue
is-
of why weren't they done. I mean, I think if we can just
Yeah.
give the public an explanation that they can accept as to why that many years audits weren't done, and we bore the cost of the penalties, I don't think you have to go further than that. I mean,
Well, I'll be glad to go back as far as I feel appropriate to explain the historical context of all this, yeah.
Okay.
And it won't necessarily stop at the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
But I don't know where it'll begin and end.
Well, I think what we're trying to focus on are the years that the audits were not done. That's really the point, so.